This is Excavation Revelation, the place where excavating strategies are revealed and topics are discussed. With this being a brand new year, 2023, we're going to take a look at 23 different job ideas in the excavation field. These are jobs that either if you have a company already started, or you're looking to start one, or if you have no equipment at all, you're just starting to get your foot in, these are jobs for you. Most are on the beginner level or slightly above the beginner level. They're all jobs that can be done with a mini excavator, a skid loader, some even by hand, or some with a backhoe. A quick disclaimer, it's a good idea to always do a one call anytime you're digging to have utilities properly marked for your safety and others. Also, you want to keep track of all your earnings even if you don't have a registered company for tax purposes. And it's a good idea to have some sort of insurance so that way you are protected. First type of job we're going to look at is grading driveways. Whether you're fixing potholes, fixing washouts, there are always driveways out there that need some attention, that need some maintenance. Whether they have water bars or just need their crown reestablished, these are good areas to jump on to make some extra cash and start doing projects. They can be dirt roads or they can be gravel roads, even if somebody just wants some gravel hauled in to get their driveway touched up, get out of the mud. If they have water bars, you want to make sure they're all built up sufficiently and they have a proper place to drain. You want to get the water off the road as soon as possible and as far away from the road as possible. Otherwise, like in this picture, it's going to start going down the road, creating gullies and washouts. You don't want that. You want to create a crown or a water bar to get that water off the road so this does not happen. Ditch witching is a simple job to do. You can rent these little machines, they're walk behind, from somewhere like Sunbelt Rentals or a different company around. Usually they're common for doing underground utilities such as communication lines that only go about 18 inches or 12 inches deep, small conduit, electrical conduit, maybe to a shed or a barn or a building. These jobs can be pretty simple to do. They can be, you can just backfill by hand with a rake and a shovel, and you might just need some glue and some cleaner if you're installing pipe, if you're gluing it together. They're pretty simple to do and a good way to get in with somebody or to do a job. They usually don't take long, but they do require a little bit of handwork backfilling. All you need is a small trailer if you rent one of these for a long period of time to haul it around, or some companies will drop it off on the job site for you. Grading work can come in all different shapes, forms, and sizes. You can be regrading somebody's yard completely, or they just might have an area such as a hillside that they want cut out and placed somewhere else so that they can better utilize their property. Either way, you want to start by stripping off the topsoil, get it placed somewhere off to the side, then you can start moving the material. A skid loader works well if you're cutting out a hillside, carrying it to somewhere else and filling in another area. Cut, carry, fill. Then once it's all done, packed in, graded, you can then put the topsoil back on. Sometimes people just want a hillside made less steep. They just want it dug out a little bit. These are great opportunities to get in and help somebody out, make some extra money. And usually once you're on somebody's property like this, you can find another spot that they might want touched up that they never even thought about. People are usually very happy with this kind of work and the transformation that happens. Digging and installing pipe for downspouts is a great way to help protect people's homes from water damage. These projects usually involve a little mini excavator, or sometimes, if they're just a short distance, you can do some by hand. They are slightly more advanced, especially when you're right against the house. You want to be careful you don't hit the house with the machine, or you can just shy away and do that part by hand. But essentially you just need some gravel, some pipe. 4 inches is pretty common from your local waterworks supplier, and you also need a level just to make sure that there is plenty of fall to get that water out the pipe. Normally you just plumb it up right against the house, make sure it's nice and plumb, nice and straight. And you take the other end, just find a hillside or a ditch or a stream, a safe place to empty it out, that it's far away from the house, not going to cause any issues. Removing stumps. There are basically 3 main ways to get rid of stumps. The first one is to grind them down. They make attachments for on skid loaders, or some places run out to walk behind grinders. You grind the stump down, either flush to the ground or slightly below the ground level. That way you can cover it back over with topsoil like the stump was never even there. The second option is to dig out the stump. An excavator works well for this. Some of the roots are hard to get out. Or they make a special bucket for a skid loader that you can dig around, get the stump out. The third option is to burn the stump out. You can dig around it a little bit with the machine or by shovel. Then you can start burning. Get the log and the debris there, get the fire nice and hot. This will usually take a good amount of wood and lots of time, but it will save you from having to haul anything away or from the expense of renting a grinder. Patios. For a patio, you can get involved as much as you want to. Whether you just want to come in, dig out the topsoil, remove the roots, the overburden, the debris, get some limestone dust or some sand or some pea gravel hauled in for the base, get it all leveled out, compacted. A level comes in handy for this, or even a laser if you want to make sure you have proper slope and proper drainage. But even a string line, just measuring down once the string line is level, can work too. Then once it's all in, compacted, good to go, it can be an opportunity then, if you want to help the homeowner, if they're doing a project like this themselves, install the pavers or whatever they're putting in, you can just charge a labor fee at this point and help them out, and you can also be gaining some extra income at that time. Spreading topsoil. Some people just have topsoil piles in their yard, maybe from a construction project that was done in the past. They've just never gotten around to hiring a contractor come out and spread them. This can be a great opportunity for you. You can even just be driving by sometimes and see some dirt piles and ask them if they want it spread out or hauled away. But spreading topsoil is usually pretty simple. You just follow the contour of the ground. You make sure you've got at least a couple inches ideally, to have a good base, good root base system for the grass that's going to grow. Get it all spread out, go over it a couple times, different directions, back and forth, back drag it, make sure it's all nice and flat. No low spots, no high spots, it's all nice and uniform. You also want to make sure where the topsoil meets the existing grass or sod that there is no lip. You want a nice, smooth, even transition. Installing water services are not as daunting or scary as they may seem, but if you are a little bit nervous, you can just do the trenching and have a plumber or somebody with more experience do the actual laying of the pipe and the connection. You just want to make sure that you know the frost line for the area. I know in my area in Pennsylvania, 3 foot is the minimum. You want to make sure you're below that so the pipe never freezes. You want to make sure that the trench is nice and safe, that it's also nice and smooth, no low spots, high spots, no sharp rocks. You want to give yourself or whoever's connecting the pipe room to work for the connection. You also want to make sure that it's backfilled properly, leave the connection open, turn the water on and test it to make sure there's no leaks. It's a good idea to backfill the pipe, the majority of it, put some dirt on it, have some weight so nothing moves. I also like to put a stake where I make the connection. I cut it below the surface level, that way it can be found easily when digging. Augering holes. Augering holes can be done with an auger for on a skid loader or a mini excavator, or sometimes if it's a smaller hole, they do make handheld augers. They sometimes require a buddy to help do so, especially if you're just putting a smaller hole in for a mailbox or something. But these are good job opportunities that people sometimes contract out. They make various size auger bits, and you can go pretty deep with some of them. You always want to make sure that you have a nice, clean, finished hole when you're done, that the dirt is pushed off to the side and it's not going to fall back in the hole or cave in at any time. If you're worried about it, you can then put in a sonotube or a piece of pipe to help hold it until the pipe or whatever is going in the hole is installed. It's a simple project, but they can be done pretty often for some easy money. Forestry mulching. It's one of my favorite projects. It can be very satisfying. It's the type of job that you get a lot accomplished and you can really see some results. Basically, it's just a big grinder. You can go plow over saplings. It will actually chew up logs and bigger trees. It will just take a little bit longer. But it's a great way to clear land, whether it's an overgrown field or pasture, or whether you're in thick woods, you're just trying to get the underbrush removed. It basically just takes everything down in its path, chews it up into a mulch finish. The more you go over this area, the more you grind it, the finer the mulch will be. This is a fairly simple job to do, but it can take a little bit of time getting used to it. This setup is a little bit pricey, but you can rent these machines from your local Caterpillar, Bobcat, John Deere, and they can bring the whole unit right to your job site for you if you want. French drains. French drains are a good option to get wet areas dried out. People will usually call, they have got trouble with an area, whether a spring pops up or something changes, they're having a hard time mowing, or just they're having water issues around their house. You simply just dig a trench. Mini excavator is a great tool for this. Dig a trench, see where the water source is coming from. You keep chasing it until you find it. 18 inches is a good depth to go. You're going to put some gravel in, some fabric, or some of the pipe comes with fabric around it, like a sock around it. You'll make sure it's installed with some fall. Then you just find a hillside or a stream or an embankment, and you run that pipe out so all the water flows out. It's pretty satisfying once you get this all drained out. It can really dry up some areas pretty easily. The customers are very satisfied with the change. Weed whacking, or you can call it brush clearing. Sometimes it's best to do a job like this by hand, or this is a good option if you don't have any equipment. Some people are willing to pay decent money to have a steep area mowed or cleared off. You might need a forestry blade like this. They fit on weed whackers. They're not very expensive. They can cut through saplings very quickly, very easily. This is a good option if you're looking to maybe mow or brush hog the property in the future, but you're not really sure what all debris is hidden, whether there's rocks, stumps, logs, or if it's really steep. You can just do it by hand first couple times, get a feel for it, see if it's something you want to pursue, or just do some side jobs weed whacking. It's a good way to develop a relationship with a potential customer and to make some extra side money. Leave a comment if you have any questions about any of these job ideas that we've just discussed, and make sure you guys check out part 2 for the rest of the 23 job ideas for 2023.